Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation. 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 The Foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is The Foundation with Howard Grant right here on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. So wonderful to be in your company on this beautiful Tuesday, January 24th. I'm so happy to be here, guys, in the land of the living, especially after that show yesterday. Talk to me. Let's just be very clear. Talk to me. I was crying all the way home. I felt like the little piggy that cried all the way. It was too much. I couldn't deal with it. I asked my wife, I said, baby, you listened to the show? She said, I couldn't listen to the whole thing. I said, what happened? You were sick? She said, no, I can't deal with all of this, right? The process. Because if you know the story, that she and I, our family's still going through grieving. We lost a mother about a year and some ago. And so we're dealing with these particular things, to hear about these things, and to know that we were in the same space. Talk to me, man. Our kids are the same age. Jared and Kanis's babies, Chosen, and my son Gabriel, the same age. Chosen's birthday is going to be in maybe a week or so. They're the same age. Gabriel's birthday just gone. Our wives were in the hospital almost the same time. I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't deal with it. It was a lot. It was heavy. It was weighty. And if you have any sense of humanitarian, if you have a beating heart, warm in your chest, you'd have to know that this is a lot. Now, this is negate the fact that other families continue to go through these particular things, but none of them enunciate, kind of present that in this particular manner. They give you the depth and detail and not afraid to be able to come and speak about these things. I got a call yesterday, and one of the persons said to me, I can't believe that he was able to do that show. I would not have been able to do that show, Howard. I would have been crazy. I probably would have been locked down for months in my house dealing with what I had to deal with. I would not have been able to do that show. And if we're being honest, after some of the details came forward about, sort of the neglect, the blatant neglect. And let's just be very clear about this. Blatant. He's given me some information also that I want to share with you. We're not going to do that today. I have another avenue that I want to take about, if you've seen the flyer, seen the information out there, you've seen that we're going to be able to talk about illegal immigration today. And not necessarily illegal. I want to be able to deal with that conversation, right? It's not going to be from an illegal standpoint. I've read some information to say that it's supposed to be irregular. So, my guest, Louis Joyce, is going to be in the studio with me today, so we can have that good conversation and talking about those things. But I've gotten some information from him. And the only thing that I can say is that truly, this must be a sense of neglect. My heart goes out for him, and I believe that you've activated the activist in him once again to be able to fight for his wife. And if you know him like I know him, he will never stop. He said the last text that he got from his wife, one of the last texts that he got from her, baby, you got to give me some blood now, or else I ain't going to make it. He said he almost gone crazy. Where I can do it, how I can do it. I could look left, right, and center to go get the blood, but I still don't know how to give it to her. How? And he lost his wife. The wife of his youth. Heavy stuff, man. If you didn't have a chance to listen to the show, please, 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 por favor, go back and listen to it. GuardianTalkRadio.com. Make sure that you pick it up and check it out. If you're, wherever you are, pick us up on the cable set-top box, channel 969. You can be able to pick us up on that. Please, please listen in and tune in. Person Howard, how can I listen back to the show? Guardian Talk Radio, GuardianTalkRadio.com. You can be able to pick up the information on that. And also, give me some time. This is our, from here, this is our third week. It's our third week, so we're just trying to get some formalities together. So I'll have a website that you can go to and pick up everything foundation and everything else that I'm going to be doing out here. So you'll be able to see that. But just give me some time to kind of lay everything out and really understand where I got to iron out some things. So we're doing that, and I'm so happy to be able to kind of get that out there today. Well, it's a beautiful day. Now, I saw some stuff come to my phone last night. I don't know if it's because I put the flyer out, right? I don't know if it's because I put the flyer out that this is actually happening, right? I saw something, and I sent it over to Luby. I saw something. It's about 300 some migrants looking like they're coming over, all right? Say they're being stopped in the city. I don't know, because I didn't read it anywhere else. I didn't see it anywhere else, but it's definitely on my WhatsApp. So I don't want to kind of bring it out here if this is something that happened far before or have nothing to do with this kind of jurisdiction at all. Today, ladies and gentlemen, you know that we're talking about illegal immigration. We're talking about immigration. We're talking about migrants. We're talking about this kind of an idea that exists in the country and this undercurrent that says that there is something bubbling and coming to the surface. We're going to talk about that today. I have one of my very good friends in the studio with me. He's been on almost every one of my platforms. It had to have been every one of my platforms, right? Almost every one of my platforms. I don't know if he was with me over the last place. Were you with me at the last place?
The only place, my mic isn't on, I think. All right. Well, before we go there, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Bahamas.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you the good decent. This is Luby George's, the infamous, right? Or the famous. Let's be able to say those particular things. Depending on what side of the fence you're on, Luby George is in the house with me, my brother. I'm so happy that you're sitting here with me today in your capacity, free from any constraints, to have this kind of conversation. And the Bahamian people want to hear now. Say good afternoon to the people.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is a great pleasure to be here with you, Howard. I think the only platform that I may not have been...
It's the last one. We ain't got to call the people name. Jesus Christ.
No, you didn't. You never allowed me to come on camera.
Oh, you was there. Okay, you called in. No, you were traveling. You were traveling. You was in Haiti.
You never brought me on camera. You like to hide me behind the mic. You don't want people to see me. You take all the camera shine.
You were traveling now. You was an international ambassador.
I was. During that time, I was actually deployed. It was not vacation. I was actually deployed to Haiti by the UN for a special mission.
Yeah. So it's so good to have you, my brother. Tell everybody your official capacity, because, people may not necessarily know your occupation in terms of what you do. And, I got some stuff. I read it. I don't know where your allegiance is at. But let's talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, my official capacity, I am an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. I work for myself. Mm-hmm. I also work along with my significant other. We render immigration consultancy services. We are a legal, tax-paying, entity. And so that's what I do right now. I used to be in media. I still do some of that media stuff.
I see you had the flip sides of the...
Yeah.
Oh, is it bottom? Okay.
Yeah, I have the...
Will you revive it?
Flips. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get back.
Come on.
Just had some things that I wanted to get off the ground. My office, we have a new office that is doing pretty well for itself right now. Gary's Plaza, I promised you to do some stuff with you, so guess what? You can give me this plug right now, and, you and
Gary's Plaza, the best... This Gary's Plaza on Robinson Road.
Robinson Road, next to the Development Bank. So we're right there, and we're doing some consultancy stuff.
Luby, I just saw your place the other day. I didn't know it was yours.
Yep. That's me.
Just pass by. Okay.
That's
okay.
me, you know. And in my off time, you know, I have a love for music, all genres, and I also DJ on the side. And I've been doing that for some years now, about 10 years now. I've been DJing. I used to run my own restaurant and bar. And when things weren't that good and you couldn't hire a DJ, you know, I was forced to learn the trade. And, you know, with all of this activism stuff, what I found, Howard, was that music became a getaway for me. And so when things got serious, you know, sometimes, you know, friends, family, they see you, well, you're traveling, you're meeting Putin, you're meeting President Obama, you're doing all of these things. Like, why do you take time to go to a club
Sir,
and
hold on.
DJ?
You're just not going to slide over that like that. You
What
met
was that?
Putin?
I did.
That's just bananas, sir.
Yes, I had the wonderful privilege of meeting President Vladimir Putin in 2017.
The wonderful pleasure.
Yeah, and in Sochi, Russia.
Really?
There was about 20 persons that had that opportunity out of 30,000. But we didn't know that we were going to meet him. You know, they kept it top secret type of thing. You know, the developers and the organizers of this special event would like to meet
you
with
was a
you guys.
globetrotter
But we
out
didn't
there.
know who we were going to meet.
You was
so,
a globe trotter on here.
So I met him, and the year before that, exactly 1 year before that.
That's why the people don't like you. Though.
Yeah, I was in Lima, Peru. Special invitation by the U.S. Embassy and the U.S. State Department at the University of Peru. I got to meet President Obama. We attended his very last international presentation.
Wow,
So I was a
Luby.
part of that.
Wow, Luby. This is absolutely impressive to know that your activism coming from Camp Road, coming through a system not necessarily designed to be able to ensure that those migrants, those persons who we consider illegal migrants, because I just read some information saying that we should not call them illegal migrants,
Not irregular.
that we should call them irregular. Because I read some stuff, I was like, why do you keep calling them irregular? Right?
I mean, because nobody's illegal. Like, the human being is not, like, there's...
But I don't know whether or not that's a cultural position, right?
No, I mean, culturally...
From a cultural standpoint, especially when you start to talk about this irregular concept, the irregularity has been too frequent. So it's not irregular anymore. It's regular. We normally see these particular persons coming up from the South, and now we find it as though that this is truly infringing. After we didn't tell you that we don't want you there, right? After we didn't tell you that, hey, listen, step back. Guys, do what you have to do. Let's see exactly what's what. So talk to me about the illegal aspect and the irregular aspect.
I mean, it's very simple. I mean, you know, it's based on the concept of human rights, and I would love to state here emphatically and clearly that our Constitution, you know, while it may, at this particular
Bahamas Constitution.
the Bahamas Constitution,
Okay.
yes, our Constitution, the Bahamas Constitution. While in 2023 we can look at it and say that, you know, there are some aspects of it that may need to be changed or amended because it was drafted in a particular day, in a particular time that reflected the norms and realities of that day and time. And now that we've moved on and we're in 2023, somewhat 50 years, going on 50 years later, there are some amendments that may need to happen in there. However, our Constitution itself is based on human rights.
Yeah.
You know, it tries at its best to not allow for discrimination. You know, regardless of race, color, creed, religion, all of that good stuff. Yeah. Thank you. It is based on human rights. Now, it is not perfect. It is not a perfect document, and we've seen, you know, constitutions of many countries out there, and especially the developed countries of the world, where their constitutions have been amended. You know, I mean, you can stop counting. You know, the United States, maybe every year they amend something. Who knows? You know, but ours it's never been amended. Never. But so again, you know, even our Constitution based on human rights. And so when you look at the terminologies, the United Nations, and when you say the United Nations, people need to understand that the United Nations is not simply an organization. It is an organization made up of representation or persons representing countries. And the Bahamas is a part of the United Nations. To go even further as it relates to the Bahamas, we are part of the Human Rights Council of the United Nations. If I'm not mistaken, and I stand to be corrected on this, the last 3 years, we sat, the Bahamas, and many Bahamians don't even know this, we sat as vice chair of the United Nations Human Rights Council. And so we, the Bahamas, with a select few other countries in the world, were the official council guiding this whole human rights thing for the entire world. We were the vice chair, the Bahamas.
I think one of the major issues that we have in the country, Luby, locally, the tradition, the culture, this kind of a mindset that has been fed into us, the tribulation that we would have had coming out of 1973 and that kind of separation that existed prior to, trying to find a space for ourselves, trying to find ownership, trying to find an opportunity for our children's and our children's children, has placed us in the position where we feel like we have to fight relentlessly. Now, when you hear that and you juxtapose that to or contrast that to the fact that our leadership would have gone over to negotiate our freedom or our independence, this self-governance that we enjoy, then you'd say, well, Bahamian people don't necessarily have a fight in them. They are very complacent, laid-back people who take whatever. But for this fight that existed between the two nations, the Bahamas and Haiti, this fight that continues to be able to separate us, even with the disdain of being able to see someone with a particular demeanor, this fight that exists in this space, it continues to be flamed by, some say xenophobia, some say pride, some say the desire to be able to have ownership. And this fight has not subsided. Now, after all of this time, Luby, you came here and you've been working with us and you developed yourself into, I believe, a globetrotter. You've done a tremendous job for yourself.
And I didn't
you
come
found
here. So let's
no. But I don't mean like came. I mean your family. Sorry, but let me be very.
I mean, people listening, they may take
Your
it.
family.
People may take it a certain.
No. Your family. Nobody from Camp Road, right?
Okay.
Your family. After your family would have come here and been able to find their space, and you come and you develop yourself and you found your space in the world. You're working, you're agitating, you're doing your thing. I don't really feel like we're different. You know, people can cuss me for this, but I really call my father first generation Haitian. He's from Turks Island. Now, why would I say that? Because the disdain that the people of Grand Bahama gave to Turks Islanders when they came in, that kind of hate, they used to call them bohog.
Wow. What is a bohog, though?
It's the hogs that just be in the bush.
Okay.
You get a little
I've heard it. I mean,
It's a
you
bohog.
told me the story many times, but I didn't.
It's a
I've
bohog,
never
right?
asked
They used to
you.
call him bohog, right?
Wow.
And after, these are the people, these Grand Bahamian people, Grand Bahamian proper. Right?
Right.
They live here. I grew up here. And there was only two settlements that was actually occupied in Grand Bahama at the time. So it was East Grand Bahama or West Grand Bahama. So the middle there, what people call Freeport, they say, I'm from Freeport. It's a fallacy. No one is from Freeport. Freeport is we developed Freeport.
Right.
So the people from West and East developed Freeport. Okay.
Right.
So they used to call him a bohog. And after the influx of Haitians into Grand Bahama, people took their kind of disdain that they had for the Turks Islanders because the Turks Islanders were working and they were the immigrants that developed Freeport, right? So they shifted from that and they looked at the Haitians because the Haitians wasn't as formal during that time.
Right.
They would still live in the bushes and the shacks and so forth and so on. But the Turks Islanders, in my view, had taken on a position where they joined in with the Grand Bahamians and say, oh, yes, because now the target has moved off our back and moved on another's back. But this disdain, this hate, this kind of dismay, this separation that we've seen in our country has always been here. And I don't know if it's just because we don't like Haitians, or is it because we feel like we can do more and we have not been able to really realize this liberty, this opportunity, this independence that our country speaks of, but we can see others coming in and enjoying that. It's easier to have that conversation with people who live in your community versus the Chinese who we ain't see, or versus the Mexicans who we don't necessarily see, and all these other nationalities to come here. So talk to me about that. Talk to me about what you would have been able to go through over the years to see. Luby, I know you had this conversation 899,000 times, but for today, we want to understand, how do we fix this kind of relationship from the core, from the foundation?
You know, Howard, there's something in there that I, grasped that you mentioned. When you speak about the independence, you speak about what the country has to offer and seeing others come in and them taking or enjoying, making it through while we, Bahamians, are pushed to the sidelines. However, I remember a few years ago, a friend of mine, you would know him, Aaron Ferguson, Citizen Review.
Yeah, I remember Aaron.
Aaron had a particular episode of his show that he did, and he called it "The Haitians Are Taking Over," or are they? And what I got from it was that he wanted to spark something within the Bahamian society to say, hey, let us really look at this thing. Are they really taking over? And if they are taking over, what are they taking over? Are we more concerned and willing to fight over the crumbs, to fight over the landscaping job and, what we would consider the menial jobs? What he also did was he looked at the leading industries, tourism, banking, construction, and he placed the question out there into the Bahamian realm and said, please name the one Haitian, just find one, that is making significant strides in tourism. Find me and name the Haitian that is making significant strides in banking. Find me and name me the Haitian that is making significant strides in the construction industry. When we think about, the huge developments that is happening around town, we rarely see certain Bahamian businesses or contractors getting those huge contracts to develop, the out west and the beachfront, this thing and that. I don't want to call out any particular off-air. You and I will have that conversation.
Listen, Louis. We here to jam. This is the foundation. We can get to the core of the thing today.
We can do that off air.
Okay, but I hear.
I don't want to call anybody's name or construction company's name.
We can be very decent about these things and have a very clear conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to chime in, be a part of the conversation. 325-4316, 325-4259, 422-4796. I see your text coming in. Luby, you may have some hate mail over here.
Let it rain, man.
Let it rain. 96.9 FM radio. Guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break and be right back after this.
Foundation.
The Foundation. We'll be back right after this.
The foundation. The foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
With over 25 years in business, nothing says commitment to our people, culture, and service like Rev. And this year is no different. We will continue to elevate your home experience for you to create and share memories for years to come, while keeping you connected to the people and things you love most. Our pledge to provide quality service each year remains true. Rev is made for you.
Whether your business is in-store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation, having great conversations on this beautiful Tuesday. Today we're going to be talking about immigration, whether you call it illegal immigration or whether you call it irregular immigration.
Irregular migration.
Irregular migration. We're going to have good conversations. And you know that we're here. And speaking with my very good friend, Louis Georges, in the studio with us. And I'm really giving us some a layout of how things were. And then we started it like this. We started like this. And this is only for me to kind of get a base out to have a good conversation. I know that you have a tremendous amount of questions. You want to text us, give us a text, 422-4796. 422-4796. The lines are open. If you want to give us a call, do that, please. 325-4316, 325-4259. You can do that now, but just in decency and in order. Let's do that. I'm not here to bash anyone. These are my guests, and I'm so happy to have them being able to take the time out to really sit with us. So don't cuss the man out. I mean, let's have a very clear conversation so we can find neutrality, a space, a place that we can really grow from and move to. And that's just what I wanted to talk about, Luby. I mean, I know the disdain that exists in this country. Biminites give it to everyone. Biminites. If you go to Bimini and you're in from Bimini, you are considered driftwood. And you get that disdain. What? Historically, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, sir. I'm telling you.
Hold on, but how does that
You
work?
from Grand Bahama and you go to Bimini just to hang out or stay a little while. Who are you?
How does that work when they say, half or majority or whatever it is of persons from Bimini
That is
were
only
born
no.
and have some
That has
U.S.
only
status?
that has only been most recently. I thought you were going to tell me about this kind of inclusion where the former administration, under the last government of the PLP, had put the hotel there and saw an influx of different persons come there. And we still saw a sense of temperature coming there. But historically, when I was growing up, Driftwood. They call you Driftwood, right? They call you Driftwood. There are other islands. I hear people talking about this idea and concept of Driftwood also. But the truth is that this disdain, this kind of separation, this sort of segregation between their space and yours has always existed in the country. And the question that I have for you is that how do we find solutions? The Bahamian people are irate with the fact that we've seen more and more and more migrants come into our country. And it seems as though they know how to navigate the shores. It seems as though they know where to go, when to go, how to go. And it seems as though that there is a significant infiltration into the systems that are designed to protect the Bahamian people. How do you know this information from immigration? How do you know this information from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force? And these are the allegations and sorts of speculation that exist. And people can speculate. If they don't have the hardcore facts, Bahamian people go with their gut feeling, their spirit. My spirit tell me this. And so they found themselves in an irate position for a very long time because it feels as though all that we have, all that we've been doing to try to find something for ourselves and our children are now being lost to the necessity to preserve life for others, right? So when you go to the Flamingo Clinic on a Wednesday, you see so many persons there, and it feels as though this isn't necessarily designed for you. So Bahamian people have been having these kind of conversations for a long time, Lubin. And the question is, how do we alleviate that, or how do we even fuse or merge our communities to get to a better space? Talk to me about it.
Well, Howard, one of the things that I would never do, and I have never done, contrary to popular belief, is try to knock the concerns of the Bahamian people. There is great reason to have concern. Just over the weekend, you saw, and that video, the images, the news stories, kind of highlighted, it captured in a moment the crisis that we have. We do have a migration crisis in the Bahamas. Turks and Caicos is also experiencing a migration crisis.
A significant one.
The U.S., especially South Florida and some of the other borders that they have, Mexico, they're experiencing a crisis. It's not unique to the Bahamas. And so I feel and I understand the concern. And especially when you look at the lack of resources that we seemingly have over the years, successive administrations may have not necessarily directed public funding and, priorities in areas in which Bahamians thought or wish they should have. We've been crying out forever for more clinics or for a better hospital. We see renovations and stuff happening at PMH. My heart goes out, to the family of the young lady the other day that, did the video and then lost her life at PMH.
That's Kenise Darbo.
Jared, yeah. So my heart goes out to him and the entire family there. I have a family friend that is currently at PMH right now, and we're severely concerned for her. She's called family members.
She asked for blood yet?
No, but she's family members have visited her, and they came back in a worse mood or feeling, or you just feel the energy around them coming from the hospital as opposed to when they were going, even though they felt some type of way going to the hospital, and visiting the day before. And it's like every day it's getting worse and you're not hearing any. But anyway, so I understand the concerns. You go to the Family Islands and you see the lack of development. We see also the domestic, or what they would call the internal migration from, of Bahamians from the other Family Islands because of the lack of development. The persons from Auckland, they would much rather live in Auckland, Crooked Island, Eleuthera, Exuma, wherever. They don't want to really be in Nassau, right? So it's the same thing with the Haitians, There's no Haitian that I've ever met. There's no Haitian that I've ever watched on an interview or documentary. There's no article that I've ever read with a Haitian being interviewed. Personally, themselves, or speaking of Haitians, where they've never talked about or mentioned the fact that every Haitian would love to be in Haiti. Just as the person from Exuma would love to be in Exuma and not Nassau. It is not simplistic, but listen, this thing goes so deep and it goes so far, and it goes back in history, and there are a lot of historical moments that, people downplay, and people like to say, well, so what? It happened from that time. No.
Until you let it go.
It is not so what had happened from that time, because it continues today. After Haiti would have gained its independence in 1804, it took the United States some 60 years to recognize Haiti's independence. The United States, England, France, Spain, all decided that they would not recognize Haiti's independence. Why? Because they didn't want their slaves. The highest commodity of the day. The highest commodity of the day. They didn't want the message to get to them and to understand that, hey, we should be free. We need to be free. And here's how we can do it. There's a little country out there, a little island state out there. They have the blueprint. They did it.
Haiti.
Right? Haiti did it.
Yeah.
The only country born out of slavery.
But it's a lot of these stories that we hear, they come with this sort of gray matter, right? Whilst we look at the liberation opportunity and the independence of it, it comes with gray matter. And whether that gray matter is factual or whether it's wrapped up in folklore and these sort of ideas, or will Haitians use dark magic to do this, or Haitians did this or this. And so you hear these things, and I don't know if that adds
whatever that may have
to the
been,
story.
Whatever that may have been, what we do know, and there is historical data to prove that these developed and world superpowers did it. The countries that colonized the majority of the Caribbean and other nations, Latin America, South America, they did it. That is a proven fact. Haiti's best friend to them is Venezuela. Venezuela
We saw a significant influx of Venezuelans come to the country right now.
is a country
Right now.
that has never forgotten what Haiti did for them. The first Venezuelan flag was put together and designed, in case you didn't know, in Haiti. They came to Haiti and asked for the blueprint on how do we liberate ourselves?
Wow.
How do we do this in Latin America? The Spaniards, they're oppressing us, they're killing us, they're raping us, they're doing everything. They went to Haiti. Haiti gave them and told them, okay, this is what you need to do. Gave them arms, gave them whatever they need. They went, they were defeated. They came back to Haiti. We didn't get it done. The Haitians said, okay, put the flag together. Let's go. By the time as we're done, you'll be a free state. So said, so done. And they never forgot that. And that is why the Hugo Chavez and persons like that always sought to assist Haiti. And, a few years ago, you had this whole debacle with the Petro Caribe funds where, millions or billions were sent to Haiti, which were misappropriated by the political elite over there. And so you had a situation where, and history matters, you had a situation where in about, 1914, 15, where the United States of America invaded Haiti and occupied Haiti. Many persons don't know that. The United States ran Haiti for 20 years. For 20 years. When they left with all of the money. They left with all of the gold. They even changed the constitution of Haiti to benefit them at the time. Did you know that? Haiti, since becoming a democratic state, and when you moved on from Papa Doc and Baby Doc and those persons in around 1986, Haiti has never had a president, and that can also be proven, and it's always been proven, has never had a president of Haiti that was not hand-picked by these world superpowers. Never. They chose.
But what about the assassinations? What about the relentless pursuit? They have to exile. They have to move out. The foundation exists in those places. And then I want to also ask you this question:
exile, assassination. Like you need to harp in on those, though. Hone in on those. Don't just throw those out there.
No, I mean we've seen it from a historical standpoint.
Who was assassinated? Who was exiled? When? Why? What were they saying, and what were their agenda at the particular time?
Historically, the attachment to these sort of uprise from the people and the pulling down of leadership within the Caribbean more specifically, we've always looked at Haiti for that. And whilst we know that Haiti was the first liberated black state to do what they've done, has that blueprint really caused the foundation of Venezuela at this time to be unstable? Because now we're seeing a great deal of Venezuelans come to the country here as a result of not being able to feed their own in those particular spaces, right? So there's issues that are happening in the world. And so what I want to know is whether or not we found ourselves back at square one. There is disdain, there is separation, there is segregation, there is an idea of them and us that exist here in this space. There is an uprising. The other day I had an opportunity to be able to sit down with Adrian Francis. And one of the things that came out of the conversation is this concept of a civil war. I thought it was just bananas. I never heard anything like this. I said, civil war. He said, yes, Howard, there's bubbling. I said, I don't think that there's going to be a civil war. I don't think that this mindset of a civil war exists. I said to him, and he said, okay, I backtracked, and we started to talk about the civil unrest. Okay, I accepted that. But so tell me about this. the agitation that a great deal of us who speaks the Queen English and listen to the radio stations or whatnot, we hear persons like yourself and others that come to agitate for relationships between Haitian Bahamians and the wider Bahamian society, trying to be able to fuse. But the question I have is, what is the message being said and spoken and delivered to the persons who occupy our territory, the persons who occupy shanty towns and identify those things? There's conversations about what's happening in Abaco right now and expanding. There's conversations that are happening or what's happening in Harbor Island and East Grand Bahama and all over the country. So what is being said? Who are the advocates that are speaking to the Haitians or the Haitian Bahamians and saying it is time for us to be able to become one with the Bahamian society? It is time for us to put down this cultural mindset that separates us for years and become one with these persons that we in the space that we live in.
Great question, Howard. Quite simple. The same advocates. Here's the deal. You would find, and in that thing that I sent you today, a bit earlier, it's circulating on social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, that sort of stuff, where somebody's calling me out. And in there, they said, we've never seen you or heard you say to the Haitian people or speak to them about the shanty towns or speak to them about the, coming in, undocumented and, all of the stuff that may be happening and trying to assimilate and trying to abide by the rules and come to the front door and all of that stuff. If you, Howard, would want a message to get to a Filipino person right now, how would you go about that?
You can get a Filipino to do it. Yeah.
If you would want a message
it's
to
about
get
language.
to a Mexican person right now, would you do that in English or would you do that in
You
Spanish?
have to do it in Spanish.
Do you
Language.
speak Filipino?
No.
You don't?
No. Even if I did, I wouldn't be the perfect the character.
My point exactly,
Even if
Howard.
so I do speak Spanish, but I'm not the advocate for the Mexicans.
My point exactly,
Or the
Howard.
Cubans.
And so if, you speak,
I could translate, but you ain't gonna hire me to tell them to do X, Y, Z.
when you speak
From a
speak to
cultural
a person
standpoint,
and
it
you
doesn't
speak
work.
to them in their language, it goes to their heart.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're not trying to speak down to order and just try to dictate. We want to meet people where they're
But
at.
that's how it translates when a great, and I'm not talking about you specifically, Luby. I'm talking about a great deal of people that speak to, from an advocacy standpoint, for the Haitian community here in the country. It sounds condescending because it ends up, the conversation ends up like, y'all Bahamian. It already sounds desegregated yourself. You say, y'all Bahamians this,
Well, you've
and
ne-
y'all
and
is that.
You've never heard.
Not Luby.
You've never, and guess what? There is nobody, all of your listeners right now, do a survey on Facebook, tell them to do the research and find it. There has never, ever been an utterance from me or a post or comment from me that included y'all Bahamians.
Yeah, no. I can accept that, but I'm saying to you that doesn't negate the fact that
no,
that
I
exists.
say that. I say that because when persons think about the fact that yes, it does exist, and the fact that it's not coming from advocates, they attribute those comments, those sentiments, to the activists.
Yeah, because the activist is the one that's out front.
Exactly.
And
But I
because
just
you're
want to
out
set
front-
the record straight.
Now let's just be very clear. You're out front and you're an activist for the Bahamian society, so we can be able to understand exactly what's happening in the Haitian community. And simultaneously, you're saying to me that you're in the Haitian community, saying to the Haitian community, this is what is acceptable to the Bahamian society. So you're in dual capacity and trying to be able to bridge this gap so we could find productivity. Okay, so this.
And when I'm in the Haitian community, I'm speaking Creole. When I'm on Facebook,
You speak in
or when
English.
I'm on, if I'm invited, just as you invited me, if I'm invited by a talk show host maybe on this station, as I have been, or some other radio station, and the talk show is a bilingual or a Creole talk show, then we're going to have that conversation in Creole. When I'm doing my Facebook Lives, And I want to address the Haitian community to speak about irregular migration, to inform them of the policies, the rules, the laws, the processes that we have in place, the documents that you may need. How do you go about applying, to enter the country legally? What are the requisite documents? What do you need? How do you go about this? How am I going to do that? I won't do that in English. I have to do that in Creole. It's like this. It's like the government hiring me, right? To be a consultant or something for a special project in Haiti. And then I'm dispatched to a particular region in Haiti to go on, to have an education or some information campaign. You, Howard, you back here in the Bahamas, you may hear or see it somewhere on social media now. Louis Georges was on a radio show in Cape Haitian. You don't understand a word of what I was saying. But there is a lack of trust in there. Where does that lack of trust comes from? Maybe it is because sometimes we know ourselves. Let's be true. Let's be true.
Well, Luby, I want to say this to you before we get out of here. And
the
go
message to the Haitian
break.
people has to be in Haitian Creole.
Okay, but that's acceptable. But does the message resonate the way that it wants? Because your activism, your relentless position, both you and others.
What is my position? You talk about it. Let's talk about that.
No, I'm talking about... No, I believe that you are an activist to be able to see that the Bahamian people, like I said, to bridge the gap so we can find productivity. I accept that. And I believe that that's what you're doing, right? Now, that doesn't negate the fact that we still have 300 and some Haitians coming here on the sloop on a regular basis. 150 and 18 was caught the other day. We're still seeing that. And that is weighing down on the shoulders of tolerance in the Bahamian society.
It is.
They cannot take it anymore.
Agree.
And if you, as the forerunner, because we're not talking to Jean-Paul, right? Hypothetically, I'm just saying. We're talking to Louis Georges.
Yes.
Because Louis Georges is the face. And if you're the face, you got to get the taste. I'm just saying that
and
to
I
say,
don't run away from
right? And no, we don't expect you to run away from it. But we're going to have to find out how we, and this is what this conversation is about, how do we find a better way to be able to get this information out there that we're full to capacity, that the fire marshal cannot take any more in this party that we call the Bahamas. It's going to shut down. Guys, let's take this quick commercial break and be right back. We're going to take it out for news. This is The Foundation with Howard Grant, 96.9 FM radio. We'll be right back after this.
The Foundation.
The Foundation. We'll be back right after this.
The Foundation. The Foundation. The Foundation. The Foundation. The
With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches.
Divania's grilled food and products are now open in the Kenneth Plaza, Prince Charles Drive. Come, you must try the jerk chicken, jerk pork, and all their amazing grilled food. Grilled daily to perfection using all their amazing sauces made right here in the Bahamas. Divania's, grilling good food for life. Call or WhatsApp Divania's today at 817-4468.
Guardian Radio and the Foundation are on the move.
Bahamas, this one's for you.
SBT, Small Business Thursdays. Every Thursday, the Foundation with Howard Grant will highlight small businesses throughout the country, far and wide. Your products, services, prices, and personality. We want to hear it all. Get your 30 or 60-second advertisement heard on air at a fraction of the cost. We here at the Foundation understand the times and don't want you to be left behind. With Guardian Radio, you reach your specific demographic and it is unmatched.
We reach thousands daily.
Get your products off the shelf and your services in their hearts. Small Business Thursdays with the Foundation, only on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. For more information, call 302-2300 or the Help Me Howard line at 827-0111. SBT, Small Business Thursdays. Get your business moving today.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
2023's first installment of Fish Fry Fridays promises to be a classic. Friday, January 27th, it's a Visage throwback to the days of 601 as former lead vocalist Colin Nasty Boy McDonald reunites with Sean Wild Boy Ferguson and the rest of the Visage Excitement Posse. It all goes down at Margaritaville, downtown Nassau at the 12-Volt Bar. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. $25 entry fee. Or enjoy the Fish Fry Buffet for only $55 before the event and enjoy complimentary access.
Who is it? It's the plumber. I've come to fix this.
Margaritaville, downtown Nassau and Visage presents the special edition of Fish Fry Fridays with special guest Colin McDonald. Friday, January 27th. Fish Fry Fridays.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation. The Foundation. The Foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, the Foundation. So happy to have you here with us tuning in. If you're just tuning in, we've been having a conversation about a little history at the forefront and talking immigration in there. I'm in the studio with none other than Luby George, is really being able to put some things down and make some things happen. I see a line. The lines are lit up. I see 195,000 comments and everyone cussing, traitor, he's... Luby, you can get it today. I can read these.
I bet they can't tell you how.
They can't tell you how. It ain't really about. Let me tell you why. I told you this. For the most part, what we see coming from society, not everyone now, we can't put everyone in one bucket. But for the most part, what we've been able to see being thrust towards media as it relates to these particular media houses love these conversations.
Yep.
They love these conversations, these hot topic. Oh, everybody can tune into the show, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know if that's going to lend to a solution.
It doesn't.
I believe
Listen to the conversations out there. You rarely hear solutions, or if solutions are offered. You know, we talk about locking down and we talk about detention and arrests and deport. Like that has, how long we've been arresting, detaining, and deporting? As long as the situation doesn't change in those persons' homeland, they will never stop leaving their homeland.
This is what I wanted to ask you about. When we left off, we started to talk about, doesn't negate from the fact that we are seeing significant influx from illegal migrants flooding our borders. We started to talk, and I wrote that down. I had to write that down to ensure that I could pick that up where we left off. You started to talk about the fact that there are issues here. And there's not one Haitian that has a desire that you've ever met, that has ever been interviewed, that doesn't want to be in Haiti. Mm-hmm. They really want to be in Haiti. All right?
They also like their life.
But they want their liberation, they want their independence, they want freedom also. So they leave that space of turmoil and come here. And what they're going to meet? They're going to meet disdain. They're going to meet turmoil. They're going to meet this kind of unrest that exists here because persons here want the same thing. They want liberty, they want access, they want opportunity. And they don't feel like we can have that if you live in 78 feet from my house in one old house. They don't feel that you can have that, especially with the story that comes from Paradise Island, these allegations stemming from Paradise
Fake
Island,
story.
right? So,
Well, listen, and listen, that crew, they
Paradise
was making things worse.
Listen, how you could be in Paradise Island for the fella say, man, boss, man. Listen, let's be very clear about this.
I can't go Paradise Island, but you're all over here.
Let's be clear about this, right?
Listen, I told you already.
You are going to see the disdain that exists. And if is that translated to the Haitian community that wants to come here? Is that because the thing about it is this. And I draw reference to the fact that my father's father, like I said to you, was Turks Island. But when they came here, they didn't separate themselves, not deliberately. They formalized themselves. They got their proper documentation. They did everything they did. They paid their rent. They had their homes. They built their family, and it was okay, right? This was 40 years now, 40-some years, right? Let's say 60 years, right? My father's 60, right? And so whilst he would have taken the blunt and the weight of those blows from the community and the hatred, when he had a son 20 years later, it was a different story. The integration had started. They see me as a Bahamian. I as a Bahamian child and so forth. I see me as a Bahamian. I know that I'm here, and I don't even know nothing about Turks and Caicos. If somebody sent me back to Turks and Caicos, I don't even know how to get there. In fact, the Turks and Caicos that I knew, and we spoke about this, the Turks and Caicos that I knew, my father sent me there in the early 90s just to go visit my granddaddy, right? This is when he was living. He sent me there, and I had a great time, man. It was a community that actually mirrored where I know from 8 Mile Rock. Except it had horses. So we were playing on his horses. We was in the water, right? It was just, I bathed in the tub. I thought this was so exciting. You know, the little tin tub. I said, this is exciting, right? So, wow, are we doing some great stuff out here? This is new. Went to Turks and Caicos for my wedding anniversary after I got married, right? Some 20 years later, right? Went to Turks and Caicos. And the community is totally different, Luby. Why? Because they didn't have the strength to be able to border up themselves. They didn't have the strength to be able to deal with the illegal migrants that were coming into the borders. They got Filipinos, they got Jamaicans, they got Haitians down there, and now they're screaming to the Bahamas and setting up an office in Grand Bahama to get what they call belonger status back to Turks and Caicos. They're giving you all the incentives in the world. You can come there, get a piece of property. They might even give you a car just to be able to move back. The fear, watch me now, the fear that Bahamians have that continue to lurk in the corners of their minds, right? Just sitting in there, is that soon directly our country would be in this position. That's a fear that they have.
Where we lose our culture.
We will lose both our culture, our position, our birthright. So this significant influx that is coming to the country, and we have done nothing to deal with these particular things.
Think about the influx, of course. But over the past, let's say 20 to 30 years, I'm not trying to interview you, but can we pinpoint any part of our culture that we can say has been lost?
Well, not from
because we're talking about an influx now, and Haitians have been coming for
I can say we have
50, 40.
I could say we have with that conversation to take it into culture. That's a conversation to take it into what we view and deem as culture. That conversation to take it into even the elements of John Canoe that have changed over the time, right? And we've incorporated Trinidadian concepts and ideas and the feathers and this and that. So
but that had nothing to do with influx of people. Though.
No. But I'm saying to you, you're talking about culture strategically.
Right.
So I'm saying to you, I haven't seen the Haitian community have an impact,
substantive
impact on the culture that exists here. What I have seen is that we have not, our culture, the Bahamian culture, has not had an impact on the Haitian community. And that is where the issue is. When it comes to Haitian Flag Day, that the strength is a fearful thing, you know. People are afraid of that.
You've attended Flag Day?
What? Yeah, man. What you mean? I've been in the road and see those. Well, I ain't jumping nobody's car. But
have you attended the actual
ceremony
festival thing?
No, I've never been. We've only seen. I've seen on the side of the road the sort of parade and whatnot, being able to celebrate these particular things. As a regular onlooker, I've never been invited. You never invite me to Flag Day. I would come to Flag Day, right?
But you need to come to Flag Day this year.
Okay, I'll come to Flag Day, right? Yeah. But I'm saying that to say to you is that just
and you'll see, and I think you would be amazed to see that the food vendors, they also invite. We've had Flag Day where Jamaican, Trinidadian, Bahamian vendors had their booths set up. It was not just Haitian cuisine or Haitian drinks, Haitian artifacts, and that sort of stuff. We've had Haitian Flag Day where we've had John Canoe groups, on many of the Flag Days actually, where John Canoe groups participated. Of course, the Bahamian national anthem has to be sung at the opening ceremony, but you have Bahamian cuisine is on display because we're in the Bahamas. We've had Flag Days where Bahamian artists, rake and scrape artists, were showcased and participated and have been performing.
This is an effort from the Haitian community to be able to incorporate these particular things.
And every Flag Day that I've been a part of, the planning committees, I've seen where a part of Bahamian culture was intentionally a part of the festivities and events
Louie,
to ensure that we expose.
Let's not negate from this. Watch me. That's one day.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the planning is months, that's one day where the event kicks off and you can give the perception thereof.
Okay.
On a day-to-day basis, in the communities that exist, these Haitian communities that exist,
now
that culture is not predominant.
See, that is
Bahamian culture.
See, no, I won't agree with you, Howard.
I can't. Well, I didn't know I had an Haitian community.
Here's why I won't agree with you, and I get where you're coming from,
Okay.
Because when we say or when we think Haitian communities, for the most part, automatically we start to think informal settlements. We start to think shanty towns. We think Cowpen Road. We think the mud and the peas and the farm in Abaco. You said what, East End and Grand Bahama. I've never visited the area. That is what we think of when we think Haitian community. We're not thinking about the hundreds or thousands of Haitians in the East Street and Angliston area, in Centerville, and Fox Hill, in Kemp Road, and Freetown. No.
Which many would say,
and guess what,
have become shanty towns themselves.
Well, listen, I've heard and seen countless news stories over the years, and I've even seen past Prime Minister Perry Gladstone Christie being chastised because he's been the representative for Centerville for umpteen years or consecutive terms, and there's still outside toilets and all of this other stuff. And I was listening to somebody the other day.
I didn't even know.
You see what I'm saying?
I know.
And what? Are they Haitians living in those conditions? Only? No, Bahamians. In Kemp Road, the Bahamians and the Haitians, we didn't see or know a difference between ourselves because all of us was poor.
We ain't got nothing.
In Kemp Road, you go to Lion Road and the St. Bede's area, all of us was in the same boat and in the same situation, and you would find the Bahamian family doing well here or there, or you would find the Haitian family doing well there here or there. You would find the Haitian family that's really doing bad, or you would find the Bahamian family that's doing really bad in the wooden house and the outside toilet and all of this other stuff. And so, again, as we talk about the culture, Howard, I put it to you that you have the overwhelming majority of Haitians living in this country are not in shanty towns. They're not.
Is that even scarier?
But it does not do. See, I don't want people to think that I'm trying to take away from the fact that shanty towns are an issue. And over the years, I've always said that shanty towns are an issue.
People were comfortable with the idea that, okay, all the Haitians live right here.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
I agree with you.
You go in Angliston. Come in Kemp Road. Go in Fox Hill. Go into these inner cities, into the trenches of these inner cities.
This is crazy.
And you go and sit down and observe yourself and to see how the Bahamians and the Haitians are living together.
How can you differentiate when you get there? How can you differentiate?
You probably can't.
Okay.
Because they're probably on the domino table together. They're probably on the basketball court together. They're probably at each other's yards eating and grilling and enjoying each other's company. But yet you would have some crazy people out there and some cult leaders out there, and you know what we're talking about.
Cult leaders?
Yeah, some cult leaders
out there. This is crazy.
That would make you think and have people...
Did you just call cult leader? Yeah. I like it. Go ahead.
Yeah. That would, cause people to think that Bahamians and Haitians actually hate each other. That's not the case. It has never been the case.
Let me take a telephone call, guys. 325-4316, 325-4259, 422-4796. Caller, on the line with us live. Go ahead. Caller, go ahead. No?
Howard.
Hey, go ahead.
You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to Louis.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Let me establish something here for you. To y'all and your company. All y'all owe me $12 cover for my food. Taking so long. You
handle it. Listen to me. Power, when he tell us we can't give monetary, I'll give you Vitamalt, right?
You could give me a 6-pack because you're already on my cell phone. But anyway.
I apologize, my brother. Go ahead.
Listen, I am 59 years old, almost 60, right? And I have been around this so-called Haitian Bahamian problem all of my life, right? I've heard all the arguments to pull in and the hauling and this one depending that one and all kind of things. But there was one big elephant in the room that everybody, whether we are Haitian, descent Haitian, Bahamian or whatever, we're missing. All of these years, we're missing the biggest elephant. The first one is, have the Haitians community in Haiti ever seriously went on record to ask anybody for help? You ever remember that, Louis or Howard? That the Haitian government and them said, listen, we really need help.
Yes.
They've said that. Well, how come we really don't know about it?
As recently as a few months ago, I mean, the Prime Minister of Haiti, who, I have an issue with this, he's the Prime Minister, the Vice President, the President of Congress, he's the Senate, he's the Judiciary, he's everything. And that's part of the problem that's going on in Haiti now. But yes, they have asked the international community, including CARICOM, which our Prime Minister now is the chair of, for assistance.
Okay, well, that's probably...
But you remember it a couple of years back.
Hold on, Louis. That probably was just recently. But the biggest thing that could turn Haiti around that nobody ever speaks about in their conversation is education.
Okay.
That is what Haiti needs. Haiti needs...
You are spot on. That is a huge element.
We need to send, just like the missionaries when they were reach them fellas in the jungle and stuff, we need to send equipped persons to Haiti to educate those people. And I think that, once that takes a grip, then you will see a difference in Haiti. Thanks for taking my call.
I appreciate you, my brother. Come for your 2 vitamins. I got it for you. And take care of that. He said, hold on, Howard. He said, hold on, Howard.
Yeah, the climate right now is not ripe for or proper for countries like the Bahamas or others to say that they're going to send educators or persons to go into
we can't say that. Let me tell you why. Because
the infrastructure is not in place for that.
This language, right? When you say to send educators, can be translated through a history.
Well, lend.
Right? Historically, if you look at the translation, they were colonizers. And there are stories that says that in Africa, when it kicked off, the white man came, and these are stories that we would have been able to read over the years. The white man came with their Bible and said, can we pray? And when everybody bowed their heads to pray, it says when they opened up, the Africans had the Bible in their hand and the white man had the land. Right? And so the idea here that exists in this particular space is that this kind of a colonization,
and that is a profound point.
When you enter in education, because education is strategic, right? We have been educated in this country for repetition. We've been educated to regurgitate just the information. We've not been.
You remember it,
right? Because they call it the tree. It's just repetition. They give you the royal reader. They tell you to repeat these particular things. But critical thinking, which is critical now in this particular space globally, is not one of the things that's forefront as it relates to education in this country. You understand? So when you said education to Haiti, right? They have to be educated to know that they have to fight for what is theirs. That's education right off the top. Right off the top.
And you know what's more profound and what, struck a chord with me just now and what you're saying, Howard, is that, in my research and just, scanning the landscape out there as it relates to leading Haitian voices, after the Prime Minister would have, made his appeal to the United Nations, the Haitian Prime Minister and the Biden administration, the Canadian administration, Trudeau administration, talking about sending, forces and boots on the ground in Haiti, leading activists and humanitarian voices in Haiti actually are against that. because they've seen in times past, while things may be bad in Haiti, what did we really gain from your presence being here? We remember the MINUSTA. We remember the rape. We remember the thousands of young Haitian women being left pregnant. We remember cholera. We remember it all. When you guys came and you left, what was left?
Yeah, but you could look at the template that comes from Africa as a template. And that's what our expectations are. You can look around and see whether or not we have the Lucayan Indians here that exist in this particular space.
So then why is it so
History
hard?
didn't repeat itself.
Why is it so hard, Howard, though, for us to be able to look at Haiti and see what is happening in certain places
Because
in
the
Africa
education-
and say that this is what's happening? And say to ourselves, they are being oppressed. It is a system that is working on
tell you
behalf of whomever.
And I said this
and not the Haitian people. And the Bahamas now, unfortunately, we are seeing and feeling the brunt of what others are doing to Haitians in their country because of our proximity to theirs. All right? And because Haitians dream of and want to get and reunite or unite with their families in the United States, in South Florida, it is unfortunate that geographically we are smack dab in the middle of Haiti and the United States.
When they can't reach, they say, well, it's good enough. They just settle here. But the objective, right? The objective is not to necessarily come to the Bahamas.
Well, we know that.
We know that. Let's take a next telephone call. Calling on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Good evening. How you guys doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Great. Great conversation so far. But I feel that a lot of Bahamians feel disenfranchised in their own country. And it always seems to be getting talked down to from persons of Haitian descent, from politicians, and from everybody else. It seems that every time a Bahamian says, hey, these fairs are real, listen to our fairs. We always hear the talking heads on radios always saying, oh, no, it's not as bad. You hear Bell saying initially you were saying there's no crisis, and Bahamians were crying out for decades. And even though people might dismiss it, but there is becoming a boiling point between persons, Haitians and Haitians of Bahamian descent and Bahamians. You might dismiss it. You guys might.
No. Let me ask you this question.
Let me go ahead. Sorry.
I need to ask you this question while you're on your run. Let me ask you this question.
What do
you say no. I mean, you're on your path. You're saying some stuff. I accept what you said.
I'm just echoing what's being said.
But I want to ask this question because Adrian Francis sat with me the other day and I asked him the same question. Is after all of this, after this undercurrent has come to the forefront, after things have come to a head, let's envision a pimple. After it come to a head, it ain't gonna subside. It's supposed to pop. And for years, we've been having this kind of an issue, this turmoil, this separation and segregation in our society that always comes to a head and then subsides. Always come to a head and then subsides. It has been the nature of who we are as a people. Not to say that we can't change. This is who the Bahamian people are. So while this conversation has been happening simultaneously, the mud and pigeon piece has been growing exponentially.
Hold on. Just like you had, back in the day, you had patients who came into the country who probably were more humble and do what a lot of what the immigrants do come here. They keep their head down and they don't say nothing. You have a new group of persons who come in who are more aggressive, who are more whatever. You have a new group of Bahamians.
No.
Yeah, but you're ain't gonna sit down and just be seeing no more.
Hold on.
That is where we make the mistake, caller. That is where we make the mistake. We are talking. Go ahead.
Hold on. I've been holding on for a minute. You guys have this. I wouldn't allow no one to call it.
Go ahead.
Give me a second. My other thing is solution. This emotive conversation, we're always talking about it. I don't know why our politicians do not amend Article 7 of the Constitution. Like Luby said, this is not going to stop. So why reward persons who break the law, even if their kids come here, do what that. Even if you came here illegally, you broke the law, your kids, you don't get them citizenship. Get them some
Who's being rewarded?
Haitians who come here illegally.
How are they being rewarded?
Let me get the point out here. Haitians who come here illegally, or anybody who come here illegally, if they have offspring, do not reward those offspring with citizenship because they broke the law. They didn't come to. There is a process now. If you want it to apply legally, we tend to, as a country, reward persons who break the law and their kids with citizenship. I'm saying,
Corley, you're shooting yourself in the foot there.
I can say this with you, and I appreciate your telephone call. You are a good and decent man.
And that's what I'm talking about. I always dismiss it. Go ahead.
No, we ain't dismiss you. You're right here, right? I ain't hang you up. So I want to say to you that the issue that I feel that's bubbling is after these children go to school with us, all in life. Oh, you hang up yourself. Okay, I can fight you. All right. After these kids go to school with us for years, Luby didn't talk to me about this.
Yeah.
The children gone to school with us. I know Haitian children that have gone to school with from the first grade. I graduated in 1999. From the first grade, I know these children when I gone to school in the 80s. They went with me to Martintown, and they went to 8 Mile Archive. We graduated. Some of them, very smart, here. Right? Born right here. They don't know nothing about Haiti. They've never been to these particular places. And after they reach the point of 18, now they have to decide whether or not they want to be a Bahamian.
And at 18, they're what, minors or adults?
They're adults.
So now you need to judge me based on the contents of my character and whatever I may choose to do, hey?
No, but what I'm saying to you, even if, and then the law says that, okay, now you have the right.
Right.
You have the right to apply.
To be registered
as a okay. Even the formality of that happening.
No. Let's say it correctly. You have a right to apply and shall be registered.
Now watch me. Even the formality of being able to get your passport, the identification, to go be able to get a job in the Bahamas, to make something of yourself and do something, is an arduous process. It takes forever. Right?
Took me 6
so
years.
what do we do in the lull, in this interim, in this 6, 7, because the average is 7 years. I hear people say it takes up 7 years.
Yeah,
what do we do in the lull, in the interim, at this particular time? Some, no matter what they would have gone through, no matter their aspirations to do well, just turn to crime because it's easier to turn to crime. So the question is that are we breeding these criminals that we're now trying to point out by not being able to provide true? And it all falls back to hope. Both the Haitians are looking for hope and the Bahamians are looking for hope. How do we bridge this gap to find true productivity? Because we'll always have this rift in society. I don't believe, like the caller, he started off on a good wicket. I was with him, right? But then to say that we should not give these children, the children ain't do nothing.
But this whole idea of rewarding lawbreakers, you're not rewarding the persons that may have migrated here, undocumented. You're not rewarding them. All right? And as an adult, I should not be penalized for my parents. If my dad decides that he wants to become some criminal and, go out there and rob or become some arsonist or become a kidnapper or a rapist, that's on him. Why should I be penalized?
Because it's a Christian nation and they say, whatever blood in your daddy is in you. Let me read some of these texts.
It's crazy. that is
if you enter into someone's
ridiculous.
house without knowledge, or if you enter in a woman without consent, all of these are illegal. So how can he say that entering a country without anyone's knowledge is not illegal?
Who's saying that?
There's a text that's just coming through, right?
Who said that, though?
No, we were talking about
but who said irregular in terms of the language. Irregular.
The
language
illegal.
As it pertains to the individual and not the act. The act may be an illegal one. It is illegal to drive without a seatbelt, eh?
Mm-hmm.
But are you illegal when you're driving without a seatbelt, Howard?
You mean in the country?
Yeah, are you an illegal person?
Well, depending how I got here. This is a lot.
No, it doesn't depend on how you got here. We're talking about rules and we're talking about laws. It has nothing to do with migration or immigration and foreign affairs and foreign policy and all of that stuff. We're talking about laws and you're talking about human beings and their dignity. You are not illegal because you committed an illegal act. Okay? The act is illegal, not you.
Let me read a couple more of these texts. Howard, this is complete foolishness. Yes, you can be in the country illegally. That's a fact. This irregular garbage is the same political correctness that has our country being invaded. I'm sorry, but I can't listen to this person on your show. I'll check you tomorrow.
But
this is a text.
I agree with that person, though, to a certain extent, Howard. They actually said the same thing that we just said. The person can be in the country or entered illegally. Their status is irregular. They are undocumented. The human being is not an illegal object.
So the human being is neither a criminal either.
No, I'm not saying they're not a criminal. You broke a crime, but to become a but to be a but to be a criminal, who decides that?
The law. The law
decides
the rules and regulation.
And what is the process to decide that?
Well, you have to go through a process. Yes, I accept that.
And that is one of the things. Remember now.
Yeah, but if I catch you red-handed, Luby,
you catch me red-handed.
But the salt water on you. Fresh off the situation.
Boss, I just came off the beach.
You need to stop it, Luby.
I just come off the beach.
Let me read somebody who says, it's a great show as usual. You have Luby on the show and all the illegal immigrants in Abaco. Howard, you brave. I will name you brave too. Great show as usual. People calling this show to cuss Luby out. Right?
Let it rain.
Let's be able to read a few more. It says, good morning, Howard. You are a big time deflecting from the issues. I did not hear that the TCI government want to integrate with the Bahamas because they know that we are one. Hold on now. Despite your grammatical errors, let's be very clear about this. This kind of I know we are one concept that exists in your heart and in your spirit, and all we is one in Kumbaya is not what exists on paper. Let's be very clear about this. Okay, so it says, I am a child of a mother from Turks and Caicos. My grandfather worked in Pinedale, born in the early 1900s. He was from Middle Caicos. It's illegal migration, and that's a fact. Okay, so you're saying, I don't understand what the text is saying. I don't understand what you're saying. I mean, you're really bringing home my point. My grandfather them came here for labor. And they caught the disdain, right? Let me see if I can read another text. It says, what Haiti independence have to do with them being illegal or in our country?
It has a lot to do with it, Howard.
That was their achievements. We as Bahamians don't have to suffer because independence. We're talking about coming to the Bahamas illegally. Stop him from talking about Haitians and a right to enter the Caribbean because they were first to be independent. Right?
Whoever said that.
That's
part of the problem, you know. Like, I don't understand how people take from what we've been saying here today to translate into us saying that Haitians have the right to enter another jurisdiction illegally. We've never said that. We've never advocated for that. In fact, two things that we advocated for when I became an activist, Howard. There's the two things that I fought for. The rule of law, due process. That's it. Rule of law, due process, and the respect for persons. That is it. Arrest, detain, take before court, detain again, repatriate.
This sounds like stop, review, and cancel, but that's a whole different situation.
That is all. Arrest the people, detain them, charge them, take them to court, and deport them and send them home. That's all we've been saying. Outside of that, we say, don't kick down the door, don't beat them up, don't slap them, don't take the little money.
That's the human right aspect of it.
That's the human right. Don't take their little money that they may have.
Take the little money.
Don't slap them, don't bust their eye and break their back and all of this other stuff that we've seen happen, that we've documented over the years. That's what we say.
So this leads to another conversation.
That's all you know, Howard.
Is the conversation here, or the inflections here, is that corruption has kept this kind of illegal migration, the expansion, the mushrooming. Is that what you're saying to me? The corruption of them? Because let me tell you something. Let's be very clear. Those persons who are here who understand the rhythm of our society understand that cash rules everything around me.
Yep.
They understand that cream,
dollar bills.
Get the money. They understand that, right? And understanding that cash rules everything around me. There's always this conversation about, well, mommy going under the bed, boy, mommy had this money, she take care of this, she did that, boom, boom, boom. But I ain't leave them. So I ain't bothered with them because, so we heard these conversations, whether in the barbershop or whether in other spaces, about who did this and who did that. Do you believe that corruption has caused this illegal immigration problem that we have in this country to mushroom?
I can't say that. I cannot say that.
But you telling me you document? When you take the little money, you document when they bust through the door?
Yes, but I can't say that.
You won't be decent today.
No, it was not about us trying to be decent.
Okay,
I can't. Your question was, is that the reason that has caused it to mushroom? So what I'm saying to you is, I can't say that is the reason.
But if there's a rule of law, if they know when you come here, you're getting deported or you're getting locked up, so forth and so on.
But they know that part.
But see, no. They know that if you get catch, talk to me. You understand? If you get catch.
But how would you know if you get a ticket or if you speeding or if you not wearing a seatbelt? 50-50 chance that you may get a ticket or not, depending on who stop you and how you talk to them and some other things that you may be willing to do.
You need to stop. Let's read this.
Doesn't that happen? That's not a part of our culture.
It don't happen in my car.
Oh, you never tip nobody?
Tip who? Never.
Howard,
I promise you, Luby, I don't tip. Luby.
I believe you. Good Christian Howard.
He's a good, decent man. I don't tip nobody. No. I tell you a story when we come over here. I had to go to the judge, and I tell the judge, these people booked me wrong because they was looking for something. Talk to me.
Bingo. And
I ain't giving nobody nothing.
And that is what we need. And guess what? On the flip side of things,
I said, no, I'm paying nothing, and take me to the judge.
As we bring it to immigration, we've had where the embassy, where you've had police officers, you've had lawyers who've met with, and I've met with, and seen persons who claim that they were abused by the hands of, persons in law enforcement, either immigration or police. And we say, hey, let us go file a complaint on your behalf. Let us go. And Ice Haitian ain't nothing coming out of that. Ice Haitian ain't nothing coming out of that.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
My God.
And so then when you see the cult leader moving through in some of their areas and stopping them in the suit and saying, hey, let me see your passport and let me see your identification card or your work permit card, they're going to acquiesce because they're so afraid of the authorities.
8,000 texts in here, and my phone only vibrating in my hand, right? So it says, good afternoon, gents. Mr. Grant, it's bad here in the Bahamas. This is literally an extension of Haiti. The Bahamas is no more. Everywhere you turn in Haiti, Creole is being spoken, and everywhere you turn, Haitian Creole is being spoken. Fish fry workers, the hospital, the food store, the buses, the mall in Montague, the Haitian zone, all these particular things. So these are things that come.
Who's hiring them?
Louis, I can get you the text.
Okay.
I want you to do
no, Howard, you're so patriotic, you're so Bahamian loving. Mm-hmm. Why you ain't trying to hire him?
That's a whole different show. We can need.
But you saw what's his name? The Sanders guy from the Construction Association or
Leonard
whatever,
Sands.
Contractors or whatever you call
Leonard
it.
Sands.
Yeah, you
everyone
saw his
knows.
statement?
Let's just be very clear. If you've been reading and you know anything about history, whether you're an Israelite or whether you're an Egyptian, let's be very clear. For you to be able to cause there to be a significant growth in your society, for you to be able to see this boom that you're looking for and development that you're looking for, it's not coming from your people. It comes from migrants. That is just historic facts.
Do we really know that? Do we really appreciate that?
When Dubai was building the Palm Islands and all these particular things, they outsourced everything. They did everything externally. They looked for persons all over the world, and some of the most smartest people in the world, in terms of what they paid for, live in Dubai. But they still...
But they had a plan.
They had a plan to do what they had to do. And guess what? The plan's still in effect.
So the
plan's still in effect.
They had a development plan, which included a migration plan.
Jesus God Almighty, this one, I never see this in my life. Haiti was never liberated. That is an outright lie. The French sent warships and gave Haiti an ultimatum. Pay a war debt, which is basically a tribute, or face complete annihilation. This is what's coming through.
Well, they're making my point also.
Right? So it says, good afternoon, gentlemen. There is
200 billion?
Yeah. So good afternoon, gentlemen. There is a much larger, nefarious plan afoot. If you were to reference the UN Agenda 2020, this plan is to remove the members in the name of recognition of the UNHCR for human rights. Your guest knows the game. This is the information that's coming through. It says, traitor. He can't take back the negative expressed against him. He's a traitor, right? This is, I don't know why these things. It says, we need to put an extra $500 tax to every work permit upon renewal. That will go towards the repatriation bill on every nation coming here. I'm sure that they will stop encouraging their people to come illegally, make them pay, right? This is Howard. Get this hypocrite off the radio talking horse crap, right? Are you just just prepare yourself.
Let it rain,
Okay,
bro.
so good. I don't want you to think like, So, okay, so Howard, why did you bring this demon voodoo man on? Our country's too small, and they need to fix.
What's wrong with voodoo?
Jesus, Luby, you started another thing. Jesus, Lord, Luby,
Read the text.
Right? So it says, we've done enough for them. Now they have to go. The Bahamas, if Haitians mad, go talk to Dominica. And us, and well, I guess it's just U.S. cult. See you looking to get canceled. Y'all rich people don't know what's going on. Okay. I don't know who's the rich person here. You?
I think it's you.
Well, you've been all over the world. Talk to me. You didn't meet Putin.
I had the privilege.
I know he slid you on gold bar when he was meeting.
Well, I didn't pay nothing for none of those things.
Oh,
I wish they
you gotta
gave
be
me
rich.
something.
My God. So it says, Howard, it is unacceptable that you would have this man on your show calling Bahamians activists cult leaders regarding an illegal Haitian immigration and shantytown issues. Right? It says, LOL.
Well, as a Bahamian,
Tell the beloved Luby, here is some cultural changes. We now have tropical conch salad, fruit now conch salad. Right?
But we love it, don't we? Order it, though.
We now really let bananas and plantains ripe on the tree. We are excessively preparing dishes with green bananas and green plantains. We now have spicy hot pepper coleslaw.
Pickles.
What's it called?
Pickles.
Pickles, right? So he says coleslaw, what does make your eye water? It goes well with pork. He says, I can list more things, but Luby, that's it, right? So
and I've seen griot on, listen, a lot of mainstream restaurants, I've seen griot on their menu.
So let's see if we can.
They're onto something, maybe.
All right. Says, hey, Howard, what's up? That's it? Okay, all is well. All right. Please don't be cute. Let me read this. Please don't be cute. Someone who comes here outside the law and residing illegally, I don't care what you call it. People should come here legally. The children cannot benefit from illegal acts. If a child of a drug dealer gets a Corvette from his daddy and the law can prove that the Corvette was purchased with drug money, the child cannot keep the car. There cannot be benefits
for
an illegal act.
How does that equate?
All right. Well, let me see if I can take this commercial break, guys. I see there's a tremendous amount of text. Let's take this quick commercial break and be right back and see if I can be able to read a couple more right here on Guardian 96.9.
Crash today.
Jesus, crash. Just put 9,000 texts. We can't read all this. Guys, we're going to be right back. We're going to be right back. 96.9 FM Radio, The Foundation with Howard Grant. We'll be right back after this.
The Foundation. The Foundation.
The Foundation. We'll be back right after this.
The Foundation.
Ready to step into the future? From your front door to the backyard and everywhere in between. See and speak to whoever's there with Ring Video doorbells and security cameras now available at Alive. Protect what matters most, all from one easy app, available in your Google or Apple Play Store. Visit bealive.com/ring to learn more. We are alive.
Here we go. J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents are the best. Reliable service, we've been on the scene, protected since 1919. J.S. Johnson Insurance has the test. You'll always cover me. J.S. Johnson Insurance, peace of mind.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
At Popeyes, Popeyes, get the chicken sandwich you love, but make it blackened. Marinated in Popeyes blackened seasoning, that is. Our new juicy filet is fried to perfection without the breading, served on a toasted brioche bun. Try it today as a combo or a la carte. Don't forget to choose your level of spice today at any one of our 3 locations.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Whether your business is in-store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. 13 texts from one person. Luby, you have mocked and said in a way on this very show that you were illegally here, but you are now a citizen, and also your parents came here illegally, but now they are citizens. It's almost as if you are jeering the Bahamians diaspora. It's wrong, and it sends the wrong message. Not true solutions were presented to the House and has addressed illegal migrants issues, right? This 13, ma'am, I cannot read, or sir, I cannot read all your texts. But I think, yeah, because you sent this one the most. You've mocked and said on this very show, she said that like 16 times. She said, Howard, read this, right? The booklet you're part of, Luby, was treacherous. Oh, Jesus, Lord. Luby, what you doing to people?
Listen, stop your madness. I am not a part of any booklet, one. Secondly, please note, Bahamas.
What booklet it says? So why we talked about this earlier? Tell me what the booklet.
Please note Howard, and please note Bahamas. Luby Georges, Luby Georges, have not been a part of and resigned, all right, resigned from Rights Bahamas or Human Rights Bahamas, whatever you all want to call it, since November of 2019. This year would make 4 long years. Okay, so stop attributing things that Rights Bahamas may have done to me. Stop associating me with it. And guess what? I'm not saying that I have an issue with Rights Bahamas now because, shout out Fred Smith. That's my guy. That's my mentor. I love Fred Smith. Love me some Fred Smith, Paco Nunez, Jeffrey Butler, the whole crew over there. I have no issues with Rights Bahamas. I think they have a role to play. However, my life, my work took a different path. I just feel that there are different ways to go about the bridging of the gap or assimilation and the work that we need to do as it relates to human rights. Some of the strategies I may not have.
And you still do
continue to agree with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can get a couple more of these texts before we get out of here. It says, you underestimate the ability of immigrants to plan how their offsprings gain citizenships of a country they immigrate to, right? So they pay thousands of dollars to flee Haiti and have plans for every possibility. Whether their landfall is made in the United States of America or the Bahamas or TCI, right? So as it says, blessed Howard, and guess we are back black. Guess we are one black people and a race that has to get back together because in slavery there is separated families. We are these people, okay? Luby, I can't get you all these texts.
Somebody said that they were trying to call for a while. I couldn't get through.
No, I can't get through all these texts.
Yeah, and just wanted me to get a message out there for them and said to please stress that the community ethos of xenophobia is a societal defect.
That's a trigger for a lot of Bahamians.
Remediated. Otherwise, the hate just continues. Turk Islanders, Haitians, ? Who's next? But I think off air, you and I did speak about that.
We talked about this
You
off air.
mentioned that.
The
It was
fact of the
strange to
matter
me to
is,
see the
that
message, though.
I told you, 60 years ago, my father was one of the recipients of this kind of hate and disdain that existed. And it doesn't, let's not pretend that it only exists in the Bahamas. But it's ripe and ready for anyone who is quote unquote driftwood. The Turks Islanders were the first driftwood. Seaweed, driftwood, anything would wash up on the shore.
Shout out to my
Right?
friend from Freeport, Melissa Swain. She said seaweed.
Seaweed, right? Anything that wash up on the shore, right? So the first person to get it were the Turks Islanders. They assimilated and became a part of the society. You can't even tell them anymore. We can tell them by the last name. So I said, oh, maybe your last name is I don't know nothing but that. It's Bahamian.
Like Grant?
Yeah.
Grant?
Grant is from Turks Island, but Grant is also from Grand Bahama as a double Grant.
Okay.
My mother's a Grant and my father's a Grant, which is crazy. And I might be a little bit crazy too. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Luby, I want to thank you so very kindly for being able to be with me today. And ladies and gentlemen, I could not get to your 8,664 texts. I read as much as I possibly could. And I want to thank you so much for the participation. I know that this is one of those triggers that kind of agitates everyone to a position. But I want to push past this kind of superficial surface, just the froth. I want to push past the froth and find a solution. The conversation that is going to continue from here is how do we find a merger between the two communities? How do we get our culture, the Bahamian culture, embedded in the minds and spirits and have the activists and have those persons from the community, the old soldiers that exist in those communities speak clearly about what it means to be Bahamian and how do we assimilate to be a part of this society. We're going to talk about that and talk about how we could stop these persons from coming here illegally in this country. Luby, I thank you, my brother, for sitting with me and being able to dive into it.
Thank you to Howard for having me, and thank you for everybody that tuned in. Once again, special shout out to my big sister, Melissa Swain from Freeport. She doesn't miss a beat. She loves you too, Howard. And let us not forget.
I should know it.
You should. Let us not forget, though, that the root of this migration issue that we're facing, our crisis from Haiti, is in Haiti. We need to fix the issue in Haiti.
Luby, that's a heavy thing you say. We got issues here. You know that.
Yep.
We got some issues to fix here.
There is no way that we will ever be able to fix the migration crisis of Haitians coming to the Bahamas in the Bahamas. It needs to be fixed in Haiti.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to need a part 2. So we're going to dive into that. Tomorrow is going to be a mixed review, a panel day that we can bring a couple persons in to have a very good conversation. So you can be able to tune into that, and we're going to continue it